जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
प्रभु
नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। एक और हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। राजा रामचंद्र की राम लला की। Hope everyone is there in Ayodhya Dham Yatra group. Shubha Mataji has sent a bhajan. Ramachandra Raghuvira. Can you all please open it? Ramachandra Raghuvira. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Ram Ram,
Ram Ram,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Ayodhya Yatra ki
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
So sometimes when we are put into a situation, we don't know how we came into that situation. And sometimes it's inconceivable to even feel in what situation we are. How many of you felt, however old you are, that you wanted to once come to the place where Ramchandra appeared?
Haribo.
Hare Krishna. I mean, when I was introduced to Krishna consciousness, I was excited to see Vrindavan, because that is where Krishna appeared. But always there was this craving inside that where did Ramachandra appear? Especially for me in South India, I'm not trying to differentiate South and North, but the attachment towards Ramachandra is a little more as compared to attachment towards Lord Krishna. Some parts of the country, mostly in the South India. So always it was like a feeling that we all should come to Ayodhya Dham, and by the grace of the divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, we all were introduced to Bhakti movement, and we all understood how to serve, what to serve, what is the mood to serve, and by the sacrifice of so many families, so many generations of families who have desired to have this temple here built, right? We should not forget that we are here because of their sacrifices. And the temple is built here. And now the temple is very much there, and we can go and worship Lord Ramachandra in that place. Janmasthan of Lord Ramachandra. And we have come here on Ayodhya Yatra. If you are thinking we have planned here and come here, then we are still in illusion. He has planned and he has brought us here.
Haribo.
And more than that, because he wants us to understand why he has appeared and what we should do after knowing his appearance, he has sent his grace to Vilas Prabhuji.
Otherwise they would never know. ऐसा कि रामचंद्र appeared here, okay. चले गए अयोध्या यात्रा किया. I'm not criticizing anyone, but many people who have come here and gone, their consciousness has not changed much. Some change has come. But at least it's my personal ambition if it's the right word, in the next 3-4 days, I want to develop deep devotion for Lord Ram. And that is the reason I am personally waiting for these lectures to start. More than seeing the place, like Srila Prabhupada says, more than seeing the place, you have to hear about the place. And you should hear about the place from a pure person. You should hear about the place from a person who goes beyond what the senses can show us or what the senses can make us feel. The moment Ayodhya Yatra came in my mind and few others, the first name that came like a desiratory is Vilas Prabhu should be there. And it's such an inconceivable situation right now that waiting for 3 months for this day to come, today evening to come, today to come, and Prabhuji is right in front of us, and I'm choking to speak. I don't know. I don't have words to say. Let us welcome His Grace Shubha Vilas Prabhu with 3 loud and enthusiastic Haribo! I would want to give big introduction of Prabhuji, of his educational qualifications, but one thing I think in the Ayodhya Dham that I want to introduce him, because we can know about his introduction more by visiting his website and seeing his desiratory. But one thing that is not mentioned in many places is the sacrifice he and his family have done for ISKCON. Right? They have given everything, practically everything they have given in service of Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhuji has given his life itself. And Prabhuji has written so many books to inspire even the people who may not be, as favorable or as induced towards bhakti, to bring them to bhakti by opening the curtains of every pastime of Lord Ramachandra. And not only just revealing the pastime, but explaining the pastime in a way we have never heard before. Lessons out of that pastime, so many instructions out of that pastime. Srila Prabhupada has given his purports. Srila Prabhupada has given his instructions in those purports. And Srila Prabhupada has also told the devotees should write books. And Prabhuji is following that instruction by writing so many books, one after the other. My house library is filled with everything that Prabhuji has written. I am proud to say that. And I want to read more and more. Recently, Prabhuji wrote about 101 Vedic women. Right? That's an amazing book, and I've scrolled through it. I've not read it yet. But I want to read it. I want to gift it to everybody on Women's Day. I want to gift it to everybody on every other prominent day, which is where Matajis are celebrated, because that shows what exactly is the role of women in the world today. But somebody had to write that. And that is really Krishna given intelligence that Prabhuji chose that particular topic and brought it in front of the world by writing that book. Please everybody buy. And there are many more books that Prabhuji has written on Hanumanji and Ramayana. Please take these books. And I don't want to stand between you and Prabhuji like an obstacle talking about his books when the personality himself is here. So let us welcome His Grace Shubha Vilas Prabhu with 3 loud and enthusiastic Haribo! 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 My humble request, please be on time for the classes. The time you come, the time that is posted, please be here. We should be here to invite our guest, not to be invited. So let's be on time, and the Yatra schedule, the remaining schedule will be revealed as we go forward. So, are you all able to hear me till the back? Is the audio clear? Okay. So, if some of you are sitting in the back, you can even come in the front. And this is perfect, place to sit and hear actually. The hall, I have never seen a satsang hall decorated like this. Almost feels like somebody's receptionist today. Or some marriage function is happening with the decoration. But why not? I was thinking, why not it should be decorated like this? Maybe a Katha should be decorated maybe Katha hall should be decorated like this. This is the next level of standard that we are seeing here. Let us thank Vijay Prabhu, who has done all the arrangements here. Let us also thank some very, very, instrumental Prabhujis like Harshal Prabhu and Mahesh Prabhu and many other Prabhujis. Sri Gopal Prabhu is not here. His father, Big Manuel, he was very much coordinating the background. They have done so much effort in the background to make sure that all of you have been received well and you have given good rooms to stay. So please don't sit in the way. Please come this side close or sit back as you feel. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Chalo Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Mataji, please settle down quickly. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Priya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Ramayam Nadaki Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudaha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Rajinatam Gidam Tam Srivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saritam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pradhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Pranamami Hare Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to all of you for having invited me here to be a part of this
for this gathering. Especially grateful to Vilas and Prabhu for really pushing me to come for this Yatra. Now, because of this Yatra, I mean, from the time the temple has been inaugurated, I have not been to Ayodhya, unfortunately, for whatever reasons. And I got to come here just about 3 days back. On 12th, I came over here. And over the last 3 or 4 days, I've already had 5 darshans of Ram Lalla. Unfortunately, by the mercy of the Lord, I've got to stand, right very close to the altar for almost like half an hour each time. So I am totally satisfied. And I'm very, very peaceful. In Ayodhya, I feel that the fruit of all the tapasya I got in those 4 or 5 darshan that I had in the last few days. So I know that all of you are very eager to have darshan of Ram Lalla tomorrow. I can assure you all it will be a very, very beautiful experience. Whatever amount of time you get to stand there. And my suggestion to all of you all is that you should prepare your mind for the darshan of the Lord. Obviously, when you come to holy places, things don't go as you expect. Things don't work out exactly the way you plan. So the idea is, whenever you come to any holy place, you have to first understand what the whole idea about Yatra is. And that is what will really help you connect with the holy place. So when does technically Yatra begin? For a lot of you, your Yatra began yesterday or the day before. But actually, what the acharyas help us understand is that Yatra begins technically from the moment you had the desire, I want to go to Ayodhya. That moment itself, Yatra has begun. So for most of you all, it began like many months back, isn't it? So many months back, you decided, I want to go to Ayodhya. That's the beginning of the Yatra. And then through the whole ticket booking process and through the whole, preparing mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, the Yatra is going on. And the Yatra reaches a high point when you actually board the train or flight. When you're anticipating that I'm going to go to Ayodhya or to some holy place, that's when the Yatra reaches a crescendo, a high point. And the Yatra reaches its fulfillment when you actually go and stand in front of the Lord. So the Yatra technically begins right from the moment you desire it. And when you actually stand in front of the deities, that's when your Yatra is reaching a point of culmination, basically. But there are different ways of looking at the concept of darshan and the concept of Yatra itself. So for a lot of people, darshan means that I go and have darshan of the Lord. But in the most holy places in India especially, whether it is Tirupati Balaji, or whether it is Jagannath Puri, or whether it is Srirangam, or whether it is Ayodhya here, what darshan you will have is only a few seconds darshan, correct? Most of the places. But the acharyas explain the actual darshan is that you stand in front of the Lord and the Lord sees you. So when you say that you're going in front of the Lord to have darshan, it is not you having darshan of the Lord. It is the Lord having darshan of you. So now for him there is no limitations, isn't it? He can see all of us. And for even if he gets to see us, so obviously we will get to see him for 1 second, but he gets to see us for many, many minutes. Right? Because he sees us struggling through the crowd, he sees us getting pushed here and there, he sees us in spite of all the chaos going on, trying to focus on him. He sees all that. And he enjoys that. And when he sees our struggle and when he sees our inconveniences, he feels this child is really good. He or she is going through so much to come and have darshan of me. So let me bless him. Let me give him my mercy. That's the way the Lord thinks. So when you all go tomorrow for darshan and you all are going through all the struggle that it will happen, obviously, please remember this. And please remember that the moment you enter the temple, the Lord is watching you. So be prepared in that consciousness, be in the right mood, be in the right frame of mind. Don't get bothered by all the people shouting at you and pushing you and yelling and all the pain that you will go through. Focus on what the Lord will see when we are there, and that will get you in your best behavior. You might not want to behave well because of the circumstances, but when you just think that the Lord is looking at me and watching me, you will be forced to behave a little better, right? In spite of all the situations. So that was my little preparation for your mind. But now what we're going to do is the next 3 or 4 days that we are together. Every day we're going to spend a good amount of time discussing Ram Katha. And we're going to spend a good amount of time helping us understand the mood of the Ramayana and especially the mood of Ayodhya Dham. Okay? And I really want all of you all to pay full attention during these sessions because every moment there will be something that you will learn. So if you lose a few moments here and there, dozing off or attending to your mobile phones, answering a message, anything you will do, in those few moments you will lose something very valuable. Okay? So my suggestion to all of you all is that please take out your lovely mobile phones and put them on silent mode or put them on airplane mode so that you can focus. Because the only thing that is going to distract you from focusing is going to be your phone only. It was in your pocket, right? Unfortunately, that's the kind of reality we're living in. And wherever I do kathas, I prefer to do it in closed environments. And we could do kathas in the holy places itself. But what happens is there's so much going on in the holy places most of the times. Your mind is just running here and there. Toy is running over here, and something is going on there. So in closed environments like this, in a closed hall like this, it becomes much easier to focus. Okay? So I hope all of you are ready and enthusiastic to hear. So from tomorrow onwards, the entry for the hall will be from behind. So whoever wants to enter, please don't enter from this door. Enter from the back door. There is a door from that side where you will see it. Please enter from that door so that you can, there's no disturbance from the front. Okay. So the way we are going to divide the katha, at least for today and tomorrow, is like this. So now for the next 2 hours, I'm going to speak straight. And at the end of today's session, I will give you a brief idea about what we're going to do tomorrow in terms of the places we're visiting, etc. But also, the katha we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to do katha in the morning tomorrow, before you leave for darshan. And then we're going to do katha in the afternoon tomorrow, before you leave for the evening darshans. So that is the way in which the schedules will be. So almost every day we'll be having minimum 2 kathas and minimum 2 to 4 hours of hearing, so that we are completely nourished with good quality Ram Katha. And whenever electricity goes like this, we will do some singing of bhajans, okay? Sitaram Jai Sitaram, 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 Sitaram Jai Sitaram. कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनिचारिणः शृणु रामकथानाथं को न यान्ति परां गतिम्. Let us begin our recitation of Ram Katha by taking shelter and offering our respects to Valmiki Muni, who is the original composer, writer, author of the Valmiki Ramayana. By the mercy of Valmiki, we can actually understand the deeper insights into the Ramayana. It is said, Pujantam Rama Rameti Maduram Maduraksharam. Pujantam means singing. And how does Valmiki sing? It says, what does he sing? Rama Rameti. He sings the names of Ram and the glories of Ram. Maduram Maduraksharam. He sings in a melodious voice and with very beautiful words, melodious words. Maduram Maduraksharam. It says, Aruya Kavita Shakam, Vande Valmiki Kokilam. Aruya Kavita Shakam means this Valmiki is compared to a kokila bird. Vande Valmiki Kokilam. So, the Valmiki Muni is compared to a kokila bird. Kokila birds are singers. And where is this kokila bird residing? He's saying, Aruya Shakam. He is sitting on a branch of a tree of poetry. So, Valmiki is compared to a kokila bird who's sitting on a tree of poetry and is singing the best poetry, the most melodious way, the best words about Ram and about Ram's names. And then it says, Valmiki Munisinghasya Kavita Vanicharinah. Valmiki is compared to Muni Simha. What is the name of Muni? Muni means sage, right? Muni Simha means lion among sages. So, lion is considered to be the best among animals, right? So, lion among sages means among sages, Valmiki is the best. Valmiki Muni Simhasya Kavita Vanicharinah. He is roaming around in the forest of poetry. Shruva Ramakathanadam Purnayanti Parangatam. It says, anyone who hears the Ram Katha, Valmiki makes the listeners of Ram Katha worthy of reaching the supreme abode, Param Gatim. So it says, anyone who hears Ram Katha, they attain perfection of their life. Purnayanti Param Gatim. So for all of us sitting here, we don't have to know much. We don't have to become scholars. We don't have to learn poetry. We don't have to learn Sanskrit. We don't have to do anything that is very difficult. The only thing we need to do is sit and hear Ram Katha. That's all. Purnayandi Paramagati, you will get perfection of will. Just by sitting and hearing Ram Katha. Kambamuni, in his Kamba Ramayana, he makes a very beautiful analogy. He compares himself actually. So he says, I am very small in compared to Valmiki Muni. He says Valmiki and his Ramayana is like an ocean of milk. Have you ever seen an ocean of milk? 1 liter milk gets spoiled so easily, isn't it? Imagine the ocean of milk. Easily can get spoiled by 1 day, isn't it? But this ocean of milk never gets spoiled. So Kamba is comparing Valmiki's poetry and Valmiki's composition of Ramayana to be like an ocean of milk. And he compares himself. He says, I am like a cat who is standing in front of the ocean of milk. Now, how much milk can a cat drink? That's good, isn't it? Half liter, it will be completely lying down. It will be so full. So imagine if cat comes in front of an ocean of milk. How much milk can it drink? So Kamba is saying, I am like the cat, and Valmiki Ramayana is like the ocean of milk. How much can I handle? I can only drink this much. That literally is enough for me. So if Kamba is comparing himself to a cat, all of us are like ants, isn't it? One drop of the ocean of milk is enough to drown us. We will, ant can't even handle one drop, isn't it? That one drop, the ant will drown. So what we are going to be seeing in the next 3-4 days is just one drop of the ocean of the milk of Valmiki Muni, the greatness of this composition and the greatness of this literature. And of course, as I'm going to narrate the Valmiki Ramayana, to whatever extent we are going to be able to, I will also try to cover all the places that we are going to be visiting in the next 3 or 4 days. So I will try to intersperse certain stories of Ramayana, which are not in the sequence of the Valmiki Ramayana, but it will help you out to understand the mood and the consciousness of all the places that you are going to be visiting. Okay. And of course, as I share the story of the Ramayana with all of you, I will also be sharing insights on what we can learn from the story and what we can apply in our lives from the story. So that is what will make the story even more interesting and even more absorbing for all of us. Okay? All of you are ready to dive into the Ramayana? Please fasten your seatbelts. We're going to take off on a very beautiful journey together, and we will land 4 days later. Okay? And hopefully we will learn a lot together. Valmiki Muni composed the entire Ramayana in 640 chapters and a total of 24. Valmiki Muni, when he composed the Ramayana, he was blessed by Lord Brahma that your work will eternally remain famous. As long as there are mountains, as long as there are oceans, as long as there are rivers, that long Valmiki will be associated with Ramayana, and the Valmiki Ramayana will be narrated and chanted. Every single year you find somebody writing a book on the Ramayana. Every single year you find somebody making a movie on the Ramayana. Every single year there are Kathas and dramas and so many things going on, isn't it? Ramayana is so fascinating that people just can't get over it. People say, what is this? It's just one story after all. It's not just one story. If it was just one story, people would have got over it. Like we get over so many other stories we know, right? So this is not just one story. This is the ultimate story that everyone wants to be absorbed in. And therefore, when we understand the Ramayana in its completeness, I have been studying the Ramayana for the last 11 or 12 years now. I started writing the first book of Ramayana in 2013, January roughly. Now it's 24. So it's been like 11 years that I've been very, very intensely studying Ramayana. Every single day, even till date, I learned so many amazing things that I never knew from the Ramayana. It's an ocean, as I said. There is no end to what you can learn, right? So we are just trying to make an attempt to hover over the surface of the Ramayana, and sometimes we'll go deep in. So there are two levels of the ocean, right? There is a surface level of the ocean, which we cannot see when we go to the ocean. But there is a deep level of the ocean that we can't see and we can't access. Only deep divers can go in, right? So mostly we are going to be on the surface level, but once in a while we'll go deep inside, and then you'll find some beautiful jewels in the Ramayana. Okay. The story of the Ramayana begins with Lavakush, who are the disciples of Valmiki Muni and the sons of Lord Ram and Mother Sita, who are reciting the Valmiki Ramayana. Valmiki Muni composes the Ramayana, and after composing the Ramayana, he is wondering who is going to propagate it. In those times, there were no printing presses and books. So the only way propagation would happen is if the author or his disciples go and sing and share the message with others. Just like Vyasdev, when he composed the four Vedas, he divided the four Vedas into four parts, but he assigned every part to one of his disciples to propagate. So each disciple, four of his prominent disciples, became in charge of one Veda, and they started going and propagating it to others. So Valmiki trained Lava and Kush to go and share the Ramayana to the world. When Valmiki trained Lava Kush, he not only trained them in the verses and the meter and the tone, but he also trained them in the mood, which means every part of the Ramayana, as Lava Kush are narrating, they narrate it in the mood of that part of the Ramayana. So if there is a very emotional part going on, Lava Kush actually cry. They have those emotions coming out from their hearts, and it is very, very visible. When there's a funny part going on, they will be smiling and laughing. So the Lava Kush are not just narrating the Ramayana, they were living the Ramayana literally. And that is the way in which Katha happens. Katha is not just about speaking a story. Katha is about actually living that story. And a good Kathakar is someone who not just speaks it, but also lives by it. So Lava Kush were very, very beautifully reciting the Ramayana across all the cities and villages and towns. And wherever they went and recited the Ramayana, people would gather in crowds. They would love listening to Lava Kush. And invariably, after every narration of the Ramayana, Lava Kush would be showered with blessings and gifts. Different people would come and give them different gifts. Somebody gave them a kamandalu, somebody gave them a wooden stick, somebody gave them deer skin and tree bark. Like that, different people would give different gifts. But there was one particular sage who gave them a very special gift in the form of a blessing. This sage blessed Lava Kush that whoever you are singing about will one day hear your narration. That was the best blessing Lava Kush received ever. And eventually, when Lava Kush was narrating Ramayana in one village, at that time Bharat was passing by, and he happened to hear the narration of Lava Kush. He was so inspired and so touched. He invited the two of them to the palace of Ayodhya to narrate the Ramayana in front of Lord Ram. Lava Kush happily agreed, and then there was this very, very massive gathering all over Ayodhya. The news spread that Lava Kush was going to recite the Ramayana in presence of Lord Ram in Ayodhya, in the court. And all the most prominent citizens of Ayodhya were there in the courtroom that day, where Lava Kush was narrating the Ramayana. Now, most of the people of Ayodhya, they only knew a certain portion of the Ramayana. Because whatever they experienced in their own personal lives, they knew. But a lot of it, which was the period when Ram was in exile, they didn't even know. They heard a little bit here and there, but nobody knew everything. Because nobody was there, isn't it? Valmiki, you might say, he was also not there. How did he know everything? That's where Lord Brahma's blessings comes in. Lord Brahma blessed him. That when you write the Ramayana, you will have all the knowledge that you need to know. You will not only know things that are known, but also things that are not known. And he also said, not only will you understand the story, but you will also understand the emotion of every character in the story, and you will feel it. So Valmiki never had to do research because it was revealed to him. There's a difference between doing research and being revealed. For the acharyas, where is the question of research? Right? Who will Valmiki go and interview? Right? He has to practically travel the length and breadth of India to go and conduct interviews, isn't it? Valmiki didn't have to travel anywhere. He sat in his ashram, closed his eyes, and within his heart there was revelation. Most scriptures are not to be researched. They're revealed when you serve your guru with a lot of humility and with a lot of intensity. When you serve your teachers, when you serve your gurus, the blessings that they give you will actually reveal the scripture to you. You think by your intelligence you will absorb, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Ramayana? Not at all. It is not at all your intelligence that is going to be useful to you. It's purely the blessings of sadhus, blessings of your teachers, blessings of your gurus that actually helps you digest and realize the teachings of our scriptures. That's why when we begin the scriptures, we should always seek the blessings of the great teachers and acharyas. So Lava Kush narrating the Ramayana and Lord Rama sitting there. And Lava Kush narrating the Ramayana with so much love and enthusiasm that the people of Ayodhya were just fascinated by the narration of Lava Kush. And they were all completely absorbed in looking at Lava Kush narrating the Ramayana. And for the first time in Ayodhya, in the history of Ayodhya, for the first time, no one looked at Ram. Usually, whenever the court is happening in Ayodhya, no one looks anywhere except Ram. This is the first time in the history of Ayodhya that nobody even looked at Ram once. They were just so attracted to the Ramayana. Therefore, it said, Ram Katha is more attractive than Ram also. And then Ram, he was looking at all the citizens of Ayodhya enjoy the narration of Ramayana. And he was so amazed. Everyone was so absorbed in the narration of Ramayana that they completely forgot where they were. And they were just so immersed that they didn't even know who is sitting next to them. Whenever there would be a funny incident, they would slap on each other's backs and clap each other's hands. And they were completely, and not once their eyes moved from Lava Kush. Ram, after some time, he started feeling very lonely on top, It is explained that Ram's throne is 18 steps above the floor, above the ground. So 18 steps and then there is a throne. And Ram was sitting alone on the throne. Mother Sita was not next to him, So he was feeling that I also need someone to enjoy, the Ram Katha with. And no point in having fun hearing Ram Katha alone, isn't it? I mean, whenever I do, lectures and I speak things, there are people who keep looking at each other, and especially whenever I'm telling some very important tip on relationships and all, I see the wives looking at husbands. So there is some kind of rasa that happens when you sit with people, right? Whenever I tell something about, how children should behave, the parents are all talking to children, this is for you. So something like that was going on in the court of Ayodhya, and Ram was feeling very lonely up there. So he decided to come down. But he did not want to disturb anybody, and did not want to break anybody's absorption in Ram Katha. So Ram, he got up from his throne and he held his jewelry. He didn't want the jewelry to clang and make some noises. So he held his jewelry with one hand, he held his dhoti with the second hand, and slowly walked down the 18 steps. And he sat among the citizens of Ayodhya. And he heard the entire Ramayana sitting with them. And the most amazing thing is, while they were all hearing Ramayana, some of them were slapping Ram's back, and some of them were slapping Ram's thighs. They didn't even know that Ram sitting next to them, And Ram also was fully absorbed in the Ramayana. Only after the whole narration got over, the citizens of Ayodhya saw Ram, and they were Ram missing from the throat, And suddenly they realized that he was not there, and they saw him among them. Ram Katha is so powerful that it attracts even Ram. And whenever we get a chance to hear Ram Katha, and whenever we get a chance to read Ram Katha, you should absorb yourself completely. Because this is pure nectar. There is no other tastier, there is no other more beautiful narration in the world than the Ramayana. Whenever you get a chance to absorb yourself, forget everything else. So please come on time, so that you don't lose even one moment of the nectar that happens, right? Because And as I said, these 2 hours are going to be pretty loaded. So if you come 5 minutes late, you're going to lose quite a lot of nectar. So now, this is Lavakush. They narrated Ramayana as if it was so vivid and happening in front of their eyes. Lavakush described, beginning with the description of the city of Ayodhya. They explained that the city of Ayodhya was in the shape of an ashtapadi. You've seen these old dice games, when they would do these gambling matches and all this old dice game. Today, what we call Ludo, So it's the shape of a cross, basically. And the length of Ayodhya was 120 miles, and the width of Ayodhya was 80 miles. And Ayodhya was in the shape of a ashtapadi. And it is explained that the entire city of Ayodhya was surrounded by a huge river named Sarayu. And I'm going to tell you a very beautiful description of the Sarayu river and how it came about. 3 days back, I had the fortune of meeting one of the very exalted sages of Ayodhya, whose name is Satyendra Nathji Maharaj. He is one of the people who actually worship Ramlala for the last 28 years. Every single day, when Ramlala didn't have a temple, they were deities were in a small tent. For 28 years, every single day, rain, cold, he was worshipping Ramlala in the tent. And he said something very profound, which I want to share with you all, which is the mood of Ayodhya. He said, when Lord Ram was being exiled from Ayodhya, he told the citizens of Ayodhya that I'll just go and come back very soon. 14 years will just pass like that. This devotee, you know what his realization is? He's saying, I was meditating on that verse of the Ramayana for the last 28 years. Ram said, the bad time will pass very quickly, and I'll come back. He's saying, imagine the mood, And he said, Ram only went for exile for 14 years. We went to exile for 28 years. And the interesting thing is, Ram was in exile with us. So these devotees are in a different realm only of consciousness, And now obviously there is a movie being made on his life. There is so much of appreciation, and he's like a celebrity over here. But 28 years of tapasya for what he has today, isn't it? And even then, if you look at him today, he's just such a simple person. Just 2 days back we saw him. He was feeding monkeys. So in his ashram, hundreds of monkeys live there. All. And he sits outside the ashram in a chair and he's feeding monkeys. Monkeys are jumping on him, sitting on his back, all over him and feeding from his hands. Imagine. So he was telling the story about the origin of Sarayu River. And it's a beautiful story. He said that once Lord Vishnu was having a conversation with Vashishta. And while Lord Vishnu was having a conversation with Vashishta, Vashishta was describing something profound and beautiful. And Lord Vishnu was so touched by what Vashishta was saying that from his eyes tears came out. Whatever comes out from the body of the Lord is very auspicious. Whatever comes out from our body is very inauspicious. Whatever comes out from the body of the Lord is very auspicious. Brahmaji held that tear in his kamandalu. He preserved that tear for Lord Vishnu in his kamandalu. Many years later, when Manu Maharaj he came to Ayodhya to establish the city of Ayodhya. Manu is one of the ancestors of Lord Ram, the Ikshvaku dynasty. That time, Manu Maharaj he felt that in this place there is no river. So he went to his Guru Vashishta and he told him that if you want to establish a very beautiful city and a beautiful kingdom, there should be a source of water. So we need a river. And Vashishta went to Lord Rama and told him that we Lord Brahma reminded Vashishta of this tear drop that fell from the eyes of Lord Vishnu. And he said that I'm going to place this teardrop in the Mansarovar lake. And he said, you go to the Mansarovar lake and start walking towards Ayodhya. And whichever direction you walk, the river will follow you. And that river will be the river that will come to Ayodhya and will, relish the land of Ayodhya. And Vashishta started walking from Mansarovar lake towards Ayodhya, and a beautiful river started following Vashishta. They said the tears of Lord Vishnu forms the Sarai river. Ganga originates from the lotus feet of the Lord. But Sarayu is considered to be even more auspicious than Ganga because it comes out from the eyes of the Lord. The ecstasy of Lord hearing Katha is the Sarai river. So whenever you see the Sarai river, over the next 3 days you're going to see the Sarai river. Please remember, this is tears of the Lord coming out from the eyes of the Lord. They are not ordinary waters. They are actually tears coming from the eyes of the Lord. And because the Sarai river followed, so because the Sarai river came out from the eyes of the Lord, one of the names of Sarayu is Netraja. Netraja means she is born from the eyes of the Lord. And because she followed Vashishta, she became the daughter of Vashishta technically. Because she followed Vashishta, she is called as Vashishti. That's another name of the Sarai river. And so the Sarai river comes to Ayodhya, the kingdom of Ayodhya, and embraces the kingdom of Ayodhya. So it forms like a garland around the kingdom of Ayodhya. So it said that Ayodhya is a very powerful city with a wall all around. It had a moat. It had a powerful wall, boundary wall. And outside the boundary wall was a Sarai river in the form of a moat, protecting the city of Ayodhya. And it's explained that the Sarai river was so deep and so wide that water from the river would rise up and form clouds. The clouds would mistake the Sarai river to be the ocean and would absorb water from the Sarai river. You actually, when you go to the Sarai river in the next 2 days, especially when you go to Gupta, you will see how huge the Sarai river is. Much bigger than Ganga. Much bigger than Ganga. It is just, it almost looks like an ocean. So the water from the Sarai river would go up, form clouds, and the clouds would try to pass over the wall of Ayodhya. But the wall of Ayodhya would be so tall that the clouds would hit the wall and again rain into the river. So that's the description that Kambal gives about the Sarai river around Ayodhya. And it's explained, the walls of Ayodhya were fully loaded with weapons. And the protection system of Ayodhya was so powerful that if anyone who was an enemy had to come in, arrows would shoot out from the wall. And the enemy could be the size of a mosquito or the size of a Garuda. The wall would shoot them down. And it is said the Ayodhya city was so powerful that not only people who were enemies with bad intentions come in, but even those who had bad mindsets, if they come in, they will be stopped. That was how powerful the system of Ayodhya was. So, Lava and Kush go on to describe in great details about every single aspect of Ayodhya. And then Lava and Kush, they eventually talk about one of the very important aspects of Ayodhya, which is the ministers of Dasharatha Maharaj. It is explained that Dasharatha Maharaj ran his kingdom with the help of 8 ministers. And these 8 ministers were chosen people. Each one of them was chosen very carefully. And the most amazing thing is that the name of this minister was also the name of his department. Our name and what we do have nothing to give and take with each other, isn't it? Somebody might be called Nayan Sukh, but maybe blind. Somebody may be called Lakshmipati, but maybe a beggar. But in Ayodhya, whatever name the minister had, that was the name of the department only. There was one minister whose name was Drishti. His role was to give vision to Ayodhya. He was a very far-sighted person, basically. So he was like the architect of Ayodhya's fortune. The next minister, his name was Vijaya. He led the army to victory. There was another minister whose name was Jayanta. Vijaya led the army to victory. Jayanta made sure that the kingdom remains with him. You know, Alexander the Great is going further ahead and everything behind is gone. You know? So there was one minister to expand and one minister for retaining the kingdom and making it proper. And then there was another minister whose name was Artha Sadhaka. This minister, he made sure the treasury was full, collecting taxes on time, doing whatever is needful to keep the treasury full. And then there was another minister whose name was Siddhartha. And this minister, he was into resource management. He made sure whatever the needs of the king and the needs of the citizens were taken care of completely. And then there was another minister who was very, very interesting name, and very interesting department. This minister's name was Akopa. Kopa means anger or disturbance. Akopa means no disturbance. His entire department was to make sure nobody in Ayodhya was silent. Nobody had any grudges. Imagine if you appoint a department of ministry today like that. The floor would be dead, isn't it? Because everybody has grudges. They had the guts to have an entire department to make sure not a single person had grudge in Ayodhya. And then there was another minister whose name was Dharmapal. So Dharmapal, he was a policy maker. He guided the city of Ayodhya with the best policies according to Dharma. And finally, the prime minister among all of them, his name was Sumantra. Sumantra, his role, he was the oldest, the wisest, and most confident, servitor of Dasharatha Maharaj. He was very simple, but whatever he spoke was truth. He never ever spoke something that wasn't right. And the most amazing thing about Sumantra was that though he was the prime minister of Ayodhya, he was also the chariot driver of Dasharatha. You might have heard of Chaiwala becoming prime minister. But have you ever heard prime minister still selling tea? That won't happen. Here is one person who was a chariot driver, but he became a prime minister, but he still continues driving chariot of the king. And he does both the roles perfectly. Chariot drivers are called Suta. The interesting thing is that your driver knows all your secrets. Isn't it? Drivers know all secrets of their master, which even sometimes their wife also won't know. Because the guy is sitting there all the time, and all very important conversations happen in the car only nowadays, isn't it? So Sumantra was a chariot driver of Dasharatha Maharaj, and he was called Suta. The word Suta means thread. These people are very experts in knowledge. They know everything. And more importantly, they know how to connect everything. They know when to give what information. They know exactly when to open their mouth and when not to open their mouth. And more importantly, they hear everything. And they keep it inside. Sumantra was really expert. The word mantra means one churns. Manthan. From the word manthan comes the word mantra. Right? And in Ayodhya, there are two mantras. Sumantra and mantra. The difference between the two of them is the word su. The word su means good. Mantras churn, right? What do they churn? They churn information. Gossip, basically, They have all the gossip in the world and they use their intelligence as a churning rod and they churn it. I'm sure in our lives there is at least one mantra, who's doing a lot of churning. And these mantras are so expert in churning. They know exactly what to take from where. That day you said this. I don't even remember I said it. But this one remembers. And not only they will do it, they will bring the reference from here and the reference from another day, put it together and make some meaning out of it. So the word mantra means the one who churns expertly using one's intelligence. Typically they are called as overthinkers. But the word su makes it all the different. The word su means using your intelligence for progressive thinking. You can use all your intelligence to take someone down, or you can use your intelligence to take someone up. So we all have to decide whether we want to become mantra or we want to become sumantra. Sitaram Jai Sitaram. 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 In one sense, this is good. Poor is going to sleep. They wake up in the morning. So, Dasharatha Maharaj ruled this kingdom known as Ayodhya. And Ayodhya was a perfect place. Absolutely perfect in every way possible. The best of ministers, the best of security, the best of intelligences, unlimited wealth, natural resources in the form of rivers and so many things, fertile land, extremely good systems of irrigation. Everything was top notch in Ayodhya. And Dasharatha, he had everything anyone could aspire for and more. And yet, in spite of having so much, Dasharatha was a very sad person. The interesting thing about our scriptures, whether it is Srimad Bhagavatam, whether it is Ramayana, whether it is Mahabharata, if you look at any of our scriptures, you will find the scriptures reach the reality very soon. You will find in movies so much of difficulties and all that, and then the movie always ends with saying they lived happily ever after, isn't it? The Ramayana and Mahabharata and the Bhagavatam begins there. Where the love story movies all end, that's where our reality begins. After marriage, only our problems begin, isn't it? So here, the Ramayana describes how Dasharatha had everything. He had, in fact, 353 wives. And I said, what is this? What do you understand these numbers? See, the point is, whenever you come across numbers that are too complicated for you to understand, try to look for the essence. Like say, for example, when you hear the Shubha Bhagavatam saying, Chitraketu Maharaj had 1 crore wives. He was the only crorepati in the real sense. He actually had 1 crore wives. So when you hear something like that, these kind of details, don't go into the numbers and the details. Go to the essence. What is the essence of this information that I just gave you? That he had 353 wives. The essence of the information is that he had so many wives, yet he did not have a child. Which means he put so much effort, and yet he did not have a child. And that was disturbing Dasharatha like anything. He had everything, but he just didn't have this one thing in his life. All of us, are like Dasharatha Maharaj. We have everything, but one thing will be missing in your life. That is how life is. This is the equation of life. This is the reality of life. You will have 95% everything perfectly in place. So that 5% that is missing will be the pain point of your life. Many years back, I was talking to one man, and this man was sharing with me how his life is amazing. He was telling me how he has the best wife in the world, he has the best children in the world, he has the best job in the world, the best car in the world, he has the best house in the world. He was going on describing how everything in his life is really good. And he went on describing for almost half an hour over all the good things that are happening in his life. And I was wondering, this doesn't seem to be like what Bhagavad Gita and Ramayana teaches us, isn't it? Something seems wrong. Finally he said, but. And the moment he said, but, I knew what is coming next. He said, but my mother-in-law. And then he said, how this one person in his life has spoiled everything he has, and everything that he is experiencing joy and is just miserable. You're the one person in his life. We all have that one person who is specifically earmarked for us to make our life to be miserable. And this person knows which point to press. We all have a hot button in our life. And somebody presses that button, then we become very different people. We behave only strangely. And there are some people who don't just press that button, they hammer the button. And imagine if that person is your wife or husband or child or boss. Miserable life, isn't it? Dasharatha Maharaj here had everything, the one thing missing. And it was so sad. One day, as Dasharatha Maharaj was consulting with his ministers, he suggested to them, he said, should I do an Ashwamedha Yajna to have a son? And he asked the ministers, what do you recommend this? So Dasharatha Maharaj had 8 ministers and 2 gurus, Vashishta and Vamadev. These were the 2 sadhus in the court of Dasharatha Maharaj. And he asked all of them their consent and their opinion on this Ashwamedha Yajna. All the sages there who were there at that point in time, they all highly recommended him, yes, you should do the Ashwamedha Yajna. But they also gave him warnings how difficult the yajna is and all that. And finally, Sumantra spoke up. Sumantra, he told an old story which was there in the Puranas. He said that many years back, the Sanat Kumaras, the 4 Kumaras, they had predicted that King Dashrath will do an Ashwamedha Yajna. And the person who would do the Ashwamedha Yajna for King Dashrath would be Rishi Shringa. Sumantra quotes the story, which is told many years back. Now, if this one knew the story, why didn't he tell before going to Dashrath, isn't it? And all these years he knew the story already. He waited for Dashrath to become completely frustrated and come up with a solution himself, and then he tells, yes, what is right. This is what a Suta does. The role of a Suta is not to give ideas to the king. It is to build on the ideas that the king already has. See, if you and me, we were prime ministers of Dasharatha Maharaj, we would have been going and giving all kinds of advices. Isn't it? Just because we have knowledge. Those who have knowledge, more importantly, should know when not to speak, when not to use the knowledge. Unfortunately for us, we all use the knowledge at the wrong time. We come and attend ISKCON lectures and we hear some philosophy of Gita, and then we use it at all wrong times of our life. One fellow is suffering like anything. Sitaram Jai Sitaram, Sitaram Jai Sitaram, Sitaram Jai Sitaram Jaya Sitaram, Sitaram Jaya Sitaram. So Sumantra, he waits for Dasharath Maharaj to come up with an idea, and he makes that idea better. That's what the role of a minister is, that's what the role of a Sudra is. We shouldn't, use our intelligence all the time, and we shouldn't use philosophy all the time. I was telling you an example. Suppose somebody is going through some real bad phase of life, real bad suffering in life. That time, if you go and tell them karma philosophy, your karma is like that only, just accept it. Come on, that's not to be told them. That may be the reality, but that's not the time to tell them philosophy, right? You should. Sumantra kept quiet all this while, and then Sumantra, in fact, gives an idea, the solution to the idea. He says Rishi Shringa is the son of Rompal, son-in-law of Rompal. It is explained that many years back, when Dasharath got married to Kaushalya, his first wife, the two of them had a child. And this is a girl whose name was Shanta. So the first daughter, technically older than Ram, is Shanta. So when this girl was born to Dasharath Maharaj and Kaushalya, at that point, one of Dasharath's friends, very close friend, his name was Rompal Maharaj. So Rompal Maharaj, he came to meet Dasharath and he explained to Dasharath how he is so sad that he doesn't have a child. And Dasharath was so compassionate and he loved his friend so much that he told his friend Rompal Maharaj, "You take my daughter as your daughter." Because Dasharath felt that I will have another child. So he actually gave his daughter Shanta in adoption to Rompal Maharaj. And eventually Rompal Maharaj had a situation in his kingdom where there was no rainfall for many years, almost 11 years. And the ministers and the brahmanas in the kingdom told Rompal Maharaj that if you want rain in this kingdom, the only way is if Rishi Shringa steps into this kingdom, then it will rain. Then they really put so much effort to get Rishi Shringa. Actually, they tricked him to come. They somehow, that itself is like a huge drama, They sent, so Rishi Shringa was the son of a sage named Vibandaka. The father of Rishi Shringa wanted Rishi Shringa to become a great sage. He wanted Rishi Shringa to become the greatest sage in the world. And with that aspiration, he kept Rishi Shringa in a forest, completely secluded from any human association. Rishi Shringa never met any human being except his own father. He grew up in such an atmosphere. And as Rishi Shringa grew, he obviously became a great saint. But now, to get Rishi Shringa to Rompal Maharaj's kingdom, Bangladesh, if they ask Vibandaka by the regular way, "Can you please send your son?" You think Vibandaka will agree? He will never send his son to a city. Because he always feels my son will fall down, something will go wrong, So he was completely protective of his son. So Rompal Maharaj realized the only way to get this Rishi Shringa here is to trick the father and son. So they sent spies to observe Vibandaka and Rishi Shringa's daily routine. They found out that every day Vibandaka is away from his son for a few hours. And they said that is the time to go and do our best. They sent some women dressed as sadhus to go and meet Rishi Shringa every day at that particular time. These women dressed up as men, sadhus, they would go and talk to Rishi Shringa nicely, they would have beautiful conversations with him, they would feed him sweets, they would give him nice fruits. And Rishi Shringa began to love the company of these women without knowing whether he didn't even know what a woman was. He had no idea about man, woman, nothing. He was just too innocent and naive. Over a period of time, they became very close friends. And one day, the woman told Rishi, every day we come to your house. Today, why don't you come to our house? Rishi said, fine. They took him to their house, which was a boat. It was actually a houseboat. And Rishi even didn't know it was a boat. He only saw a house. He went in. And as soon as he went in, they began to talk to him and all that. And the boat began to move. And suddenly, it was like many hours passed like that. They reached Bangladesh. And the moment they reached Bangladesh, Rishi realized, oh, my father is going to come, I need to run. He got out and he stepped on Bangladesh. And the moment he put his first foot in Bangladesh, torrential rainfall, massive rainfall. Prabhupada Maharaj came running and fell at the feet of Rishi. And he said, I'm sorry we had to trick you to come over here. But this is the only way we could think of. And then they called Vibandaka over there. By this time, Vibandaka understood the whole story. Vibandaka understood a very important thing. You cannot make your children pure devotees by forcing them to become pure devotees. Very important lesson for ISKCON devotees to know. Everybody wants Prahlad Maharaj in their house, but they end up getting, there was one devotee who had two boys, twins. He used to call them Gaurnitai. After many years, they started calling them Jagai Mother. It became an identity crisis. What is Gaurnitai, but actually doing activities of Jagai Mother. So, Vibandaka tried to force his son to become a perfect sadhu. That boy was not meant to be. The boy had some other inclination. It's not that he can't be a great person. Rishi still was a great person, right? But you don't have to be only in a particular way to be a great person. You can be a great person in so many ways. Vibandaka, he forced his ideas on his child, and then that backfired. Obviously now, Rishi Shinga, when he was in Bangladesh, Prabhupada was so inspired by the personality of Rishi Shinga, he offered his daughter Shanta in marriage with Rishi Shinga. Rishi Shinga got married and he stayed in Bangladesh itself. Sumandra tells his whole story to Dasharatha Maharaj. And he tells him, that day you helped Prabhupada Maharaj by giving your daughter. And that kindness that you did that day is going to help you today. Because that Rishi Shinga is your son-in-law only. You tell him to come, he will not say no. So the Ramayana, in a very interesting way, talks about the importance of being kind, the importance of doing acts of good to others, right? And it's not that Dasharatha Maharaj did that because expecting something will come back in return, right? When you do something good to somebody, it's not that we do it because it will come back to me. We just do it because goodness should be done. Yudhishthira Maharaj in the Mahabharata, he says, Dharmo Rakshiti Rakshataha. He says, if you do something dharmic, Dharma will protect you. If you do something good for somebody, that person will not do good to you. But somewhere, from some part of the universe, something good will happen in your life. That's all. That's the cycle that the universe maintains. So Sumantra tells this story. Then immediately, Dasharatha Maharaj sets out to go and meet Rishi Shinga and Prabhupada Maharaj. Rishi Shinga kindly agrees. And he comes all the way to Ayodhya to perform the yajnas. Dasharatha Maharaj wanted to perform the Ashwamedha Yajna. But Rishi Shinga suggested that you should definitely perform the Ashwamedha Yajna. But after completion of the Ashwamedha Yajna, you should do Putra Kameshti Yajna. The Putra Kameshti Yajna is the one that will get you a son. But to do the Putra Kameshti Yajna, you have to be extremely pure. And to be extremely pure and get rid of all the sins that you have ever done in life, you have to do Ashwamedha Yajna. The word Ashwa means horse in one sense. But the word Ashwa also means time. Time factor. Ashwa means time. And Ashwamedha means that sacrifice which helps you get rid of sins that you have done from time immemorial. How many ever lifetimes you have done sin? All that sin gets eliminated by doing one Ashwamedha Yajna. And that's why Rishi Shinga said, first we should do the Ashwamedha Yajna. The Ashwamedha Yajna took 1 year to complete. 1 full year to complete the Ashwamedha Yajna. And it is explained, the Ashwamedha Yajna is like a double-edged sword. The sadhus told Dasharatha Maharaj, the Ashwamedha Yajna is a double-edged sword. One side means it will give you all the benedictions that you seek, but you make one mistake, you're finished. You just need to make one single mistake in the entire 1 year Ashwamedha Yajna, you're completely finished. Brahma Rakshasas descend into the Ashwamedha Yajna and destroy everything and everyone there. Now, who are these Brahmanas to make a mistake? It is explained, Brahmanas who were fault finders in their previous life, they become Brahma Rakshasas in the next life. So for all those who are very expert in finding faults with others, this is a good story to remember. So every time you want to find fault with other devotees, remember your next incarnation, Brahma Rakshas. Very good possibility. Because Brahma Rakshasas, their entire role is to keep waiting for auspicious sacrifices and auspicious events happening, and they go there and find faults. Vasishta created an army of referees. There were hundreds of Brahmanas chanting mantras. There were hundreds of rituals going on all over the place. There were thousands and thousands of people coming and eating on a daily basis. There were thousands of beggars coming. Not one single place, one single mistake would happen. The Brahmana referees, you know what their role was? Every Brahmana was chanting mantra had one referee standing next to him. The referee's role was to see this one doesn't make any mistake. Little bit he is dozing off, little bit something they would wake them up and send them away. Because he cannot afford to make a single mistake. And it's explained, all the guests who came for that Ashwamedha Yajna, every single one of them was fed according to their diet. Even if one person goes out of the yajna saying that I don't like this chutney, gone. Because of one chutney you can get destroyed. The entire Ashwamedha Yajna can get destroyed. Imagine the seriousness of the matter, For here over here when we serve prasad, so many things go wrong, isn't it? Somebody saying oil is more, somebody saying oil is there, somebody saying what is this, what. Anything can happen when you are serving prasad, isn't it? And it is impossible to satisfy everybody. Luckily, all of you are from one state. You come to Chowati, people from all states, You cook South Indian, the North Indians are unhappy. You cook Gujarati food, the South Indians are unhappy. Any meal you make in Radha temple, somebody is unhappy. That's the stark reality of this world. Now, in our situation, how can you even think of doing Ashwamedha Yajna? From our point of view, these yajnas refer to our own sadhana. When we sit to chant the names of the Lord, when we sit to perform our sadhana, it is important to remember that everything we do has to be done with attention. Because if we make one single mistake, one single deviation from our spiritual practices, that inattention leads to so many problems. I'm sure all of you all know the 10 offenses, right? The mother of all offenses is inattention. And that's why the Ramayana is giving such great details here about one yajna, which is just help us understand how much we should be attentive in our spiritual practices, how much we should be attentive in the way we chant the holy names, in the way we hear Hari Katha, in the way we deal with other devotees, in the way we are conscious about finding faults in others, how much careful and attentive we should be. 1 full year, the sacrifice lasted. Successfully, the Ashwamedha Yajna was completed. And at the end of the Ashwamedha Yajna, they performed the Putra Kamishti Yajna next. So the Putra Kamishti Yajna was performed in a very beautiful order. So this was not the regular, yajnas, yajna that we see. The shape of the yajna of the Putra Kamishti Yajna was that of an eagle. Massive eagle. because the purpose of the yajna was to invoke the presence of Lord Vishnu, right? So this Putra Kamesh yajna happened in a very, very powerful way. Finally, at the end of the Putra Kamesh yajna, a very, very effulgent personality comes out from the sacrifice. And this is explained that when this personality comes out from the sacrifice, this person is very, very effulgent and he's as tall as a mountain. His face is red and his facial hair are like the manes of a lion, soft and reddish. And he was wearing opulent ornaments and he was wearing robes that were made of red and black. And he was a very powerful looking personality who held a golden vessel in his hand with a silver lid on it. The vessel was shining in the sun, and it is explained that he held the vessel very close to his heart. Then, with a voice that sounded like the beating of drums, he spoke to Dasharatha Maharaj. He introduced himself as Prajapati, who is the demigod in charge of progeny. And he declared that the Putra Kamesh yajna is a great success. And he said, all the gods will please to Dasharatha Maharaj, and he held out this golden vessel for Dasharatha to receive. And he told Dasharatha Maharaj, take this. Dasharatha Maharaj received the golden vessel in his hand. His hands were shivering, literally. And he was feeling like a beggar. He felt that I'm getting a fortune that I don't deserve. And Dasharatha Maharaj, he was aging. But suddenly he felt like a young man again. At this point in time, Dasharatha Maharaj was quite old. Quite old. He was 55,000 years plus. Again, don't get stuck with the details. Understand he was old. That's all. That is what is important for you to understand. So, when he held a vessel in his hand, that vessel seems to be giving him new hope. So the Prajapati, he told Dasharatha Maharaj, please divide this nectar among your principal wives. And he disappeared. Dasharatha Maharaj, he first called Kaushalya, his first wife. And whatever nectar was there in that pot, half of the nectar he gave Kaushalya straight away. Half of it. And it is explained, another name of Kaushalya is Hri Lekha. Hri, H-R-I, Lekha. That is another name of Mother Kaushalya. So the word Hri Lekha means the one who possessed and spread divine virtues. So she ate half the share of that nectar with a very grateful heart and with a wish in her heart. She wished for a son who would eventually become the king of the world. Then Dasharatha Maharaj took the other half of the nectar that was left. So, he divided the nectar into half, and half he gave it to Kaushalya. And from the other half, he again divided into half. And half of that half, he gave it to Sumitra. So the word Sumitra is also known as Shri Lekha. The word Shri Lekha means the one who is endowed with opulence and who shares this quality with anyone connected to her. So Sumitra took the nectar, but she did not eat it. She just held it in her hand. Then Dasharatha Maharaj took that remaining half and again divided into half. Half of that he gave it to Kaikeyi. So the word, another meaning, or rather another name for Kaikeyi, she is known as Kirti Lekha. The word Kirti Lekha means the one who is endowed with glory and fame, and she shares this with those who are around her. Because Kaikeyi was given that half of the half of the half, and she immediately consumed it with the thought. The thought that Kaikeyi had in her heart was that may she have a son who will be able to carry the burden of this world on him. And she drank it. And the last little portion that was left, so he divided into half first, half he gave Kaushalya. And of the half that was remaining, half he gave Sumitra. And then of that little half that was remaining, he gave half of that to Kaikeyi. There was a little more left. And he was thinking, who should I give this last part to? He didn't want to give it Kaushalya because he had already given her half. And he didn't want a second child at Kaushalya's womb because he wanted that first child to be the most complete child. And he didn't want to give the second, that little part to Kaikeyi again because he knew that Kaikeyi was a little proud. And then he saw Sumitra, she was so humble. She had not even eaten her portion. She was still holding it. Because she didn't want to eat second. She wanted to eat after Kaikeyi. Though she was older than Kaikeyi, but she felt that she loves Kaikeyi more. So she just waited. And Sumitra also had another thought in her mind. The thought in her mind was, she wants to have children who will become the assistants of the children of Kaushalya and Kaikeyi. So she waited for both of them to drink first. And then when Dasharatha saw this, mood of Sumitra, he said, she deserves the last part again. So second part again, he gave it to Sumitra. And then with this meditation, Sumitra drank. And the most amazing thing is that all these mothers, the three mothers that conceived the children, all the children that were born to them had the exact mood in which the mothers consumed the nectar. Ram, Kaushalya said, let me have a son who will be the king of the world. Complete, who can be the king of the world that bigger than the Supreme Lord, isn't it? So she had the Supreme Lord himself as her son, king of the universe. And Kaikeyi, she wanted a son who would carry the burden of the world. She had Bharat, who eventually carries the burden of the kingdom on his shoulders, right? The burden of responsibility. And then eventually Sumitra had two sons who again had the same mood. She wanted to have sons who would be servants or sons of Kaushalya and Kaikeyi. Is there any mother in this world who wants to have a son who will become servant? Every mother says, I want my son to become doctor, engineer. I mean, nowadays, most children become engineer and then figure out what to do in life. I asked, will you become engineer? Mother wanted, father wanted, That's how life is. So there is no mother in this world who will say, I want to give birth to a son who will be a pure servant of somebody. This world doesn't need masters. This world needs good followers. There are enough leaders in this world. If there is any lack in this world, there is a lack of good followers. Isn't it? Unfortunately, anybody who comes to ISKCON suddenly wants to become a leader only. If everybody becomes leader, who will be followed? There will be some followers also left, right, in this world. Sumitra is a hope for the world. Mothers like Sumitra are the ones who create sons who are absolutely great followers and great assistants. The world doesn't run because of leaders. The world runs because leaders have good followers. And that's how the world runs. And Sumitra is setting an example. Of course, nowadays, mothers have a very different way of looking at life, isn't it? One of our devotees is walking in the street in Bombay. And they are wearing dhoti kurta, shaven head, and having a shika, and chanting and walking in the street. And there was one mother and son that were walking, and this son saw this devotee. He never seen a person dressed like that and with such hairstyle and all, So the son, out of his curiosity, asked his mother, who is this? The mother looks at the son, he says, ghost. Bhoot hai. You imagine that this boy by mistake goes to the Hare Krishna temple. What do you think, all Bhoot Bangla, all ghosts are dancing over there. So imagine what a mother is teaching a child, isn't it? So we all need mothers like Sumitra who can teach children the right kind of consciousness, the right kind of thought process, the right kind of lifestyle. So Dasharatha Maharaj was very, very happy and grateful to have the possibility of having three children. Ordinary children are born in ordinary ways. Extraordinary children are born in extraordinary ways. Lord Ram remained in the womb of his mother for 12 full months. Have you ever seen any child being born 12 months later? Dangerous for the mother and for the child. And have you ever seen children being born 8 months? Obviously, they will be born, but it's called premature babies, right? Lot of risks, lot of complications involved, after you can verify pediatrician. So it's not easy. Krishna was born 8 months. Ram was born in 12 months. Now you might wonder why they don't take normal birth, Baba? Just to tell us that they are God. And because they are God, they can break all the rules and get away with it. And it actually is a statement for the world. Because ordinary children cannot be born in this way. And therefore the Lord is born 12 months later. Waits for the right auspicious time to come. And Krishna is born in an, Lord Chaitanya we see, born in an inauspicious time. Right? Lunar eclipse. Why is Lord Chaitanya born in inauspicious time? To show the world. For me, these time zones don't make a difference. Auspicious, inauspicious. When I'm born, that's auspicious. That's all. So Lord Ram was born 12 months later. It is explained that Dasharatha Maharaj was so happy on that particular day, on the Navami day, in the month of Chaitra, somewhere in April, May, under the Punarvasu Nakshatra, and all the auspicious planets were in constellation at that time. And on that particular chosen occasion, Lord Ram appears. It is explained that Lord Ram appeared on the Navami day. Why did Ram choose to appear on Navami day? The number 9 is a very special number. It is explained, you multiply the number 9 by any number, you get 9 only. 9 into 1, 9. 9 into 2, 18. 8 plus 1, again 9. 9 into 3, 27. 2 plus 7, again 9. 9 into 4, 36. 3 plus 6, again 9. You keep on multiplying as many numbers you want, it will come to 9 only. 9 is a sign of stability. 9 is a sign of freshness, of completeness. And therefore Lord Ram was born on the Navami day. And Krishna was born on Ashtami, 8. 8 is a very strange number. You multiply the number 8 by 1, it is 8. Multiply the number 8 by 2, it is 16. 1 plus 6, 7, one number less. You multiply the number 8 by 3, 24, right? 24, yeah. 2 plus 4, 6, one number less. So now why is Krishna, like this? See, Ram is very predictable, stable, Krishna is unpredictable, he'll do whatever he wants, basically. So even numerologically you understand the character of these two personalities. Completely opposite. So if you want to study Ram's actions and Krishna's words. Don't study Krishna's actions, you will get confused. A lot of people try to study Krishna's actions, totally confused with it, So it is explained that the best commentary on Bhagavad Gita is Ramayana. Whatever Krishna spoke in the Gita, Ram has done in the Ramayana. Every single verse. Actually, someday in the future I want to write a book on this. Every single verse of the Gita, there is a story in the Ramayana. So somebody might say, Hare Krishna is speaking big Gita philosophy. Where is he following himself? He's already followed as Ram. So if you want to study Krishna's life, you will get confused. Study Ram's life. Study Krishna's words. So Lord Ram is a person who indicates stability. So the entire Ayodhya that day, everyone was so happy. Dasharath became so grateful to Kaushalya, and out of great gratitude to Kaushalya, he actually started offering his respects to Kaushalya. And it is explained the next day, the morning of Dashami. So Ram was born on Navami day. He was born at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, noon of Navami day. On the morning of Dashami day, Kaikeyi gives birth in the month of Chaitra, it will be again, under the Pushyami Nakshatra, Pushyami star. And this is in the morning hours, Bharat takes birth. Dashami day, in the afternoon, noon time, Sumitra gives birth to twins under the Ashlesha Nakshatra. And the presiding deity of Ashlesha Nakshatra at that point in time was the serpent, indicating that Lakshman, Adishesh, is taking birth. And it is explained that the children were born in the same order in which the mothers drank the nectar. Kaushalya drank first, so Ram took birth first. Kaikeyi drank second, so Bharat took birth second, and Sumitra drank third, so Lakshman and Shatrugna were born third. It is explained, Dasharath was so happy that day that he gave out unlimited charity. It is explained, Dasharath collected all the wealth that he was to give charity in one place. And that place became a huge mountain of gold and jewels and diamonds and pearls, etc. And that mountain, which was collected for Dasharath to give charity, today is known as Mani Parvat. All of us are going to visit that mountain. So keep watch, you might find some money around there. I went 2 days back, I only found dirt. Unfortunately, that is my vision. I'm hoping that all of you don't find any dirt and only find money over there. But if you do find dirt, you should know there's a lot of dirt in the heart. So there's a mountain of jewels and all that. Of course, there's another beautiful story connected to that. It is explained that once when Lord Ram was ruling in Ayodhya, Sita, she expressed her desire to Ram that she wants to swing on top of a mountain. And she wants to swing in such a way that she can see the whole of Ayodhya from the swing. So Ram created a beautiful swing on top of Mani Parvat. It was a bejeweled swing for Mother Sita. And when Sita would sit on that swing and swing out, she would see the whole of Ayodhya. Even today, when you're going to go to Mani Parvat, there is a place where there is a terrace on which there is a swing even today. And there's a swing in July in which you can actually go and swing with Sita and Ram over there. It is explained that right now we are in the Julan period. It's a very, very auspicious period of the year actually to be in Ayodhya. And it is explained on the first day of Julan, all the most prominent temples of Ayodhya, all the deities are brought to Mani Parvat. And the first Jula happens on Mani Parvat for all the deities together. And after that, they all go to their own temples and Jula continues, basically. So, fortunately for all of us, we'll hopefully visit Mani Parvat. I think day after tomorrow. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow, the 2 days we visit Mani Parvat. And when you are in Mani Parvat, please remember this story in this past time. And hopefully by the time your visions will be so purified that you will see money everywhere, and you actually experience the experience of Sita on that mountain. So Dasharath, he was so happy that Ram was born, that he declared that there would be no tax collected for 7 years in Ayodhya. Completely tax-free for 7 years, the kingdom was. And Dasharath Maharaj declared his treasury is open. anyone to take as much as they want. You just walk into the treasury, you fill your bag and come back. And nobody's going to ask you how much you have taken. That's all. He ordered the halt of use of weapons for some time. He freed all the prisoners from the jail. He distributed unlimited amount of wealth to the Brahmanas and he requested all of them to continuously perform auspicious rituals for the well-being of his son, of his children. Every temple in Ayodhya was decorated and the standard of daily worship was increased. And he donated profusely to the needy and his joy exploded in the form of this kind of charity. When you are happy, it is best that you share your joy with others and make others happy also. Otherwise, you attract envy. Most people, unfortunately, the way they celebrate their joyous occasions is to make others envious. Not a great idea, It's not a great idea to, celebrate your joy or your success by making other people insecure and envious. The best way to celebrate your success and joy is by making others happy, sharing the joy with others in such a way that they all become happy and they profusely bless you. Look at Dasharatha, he's telling Brahmanas they should continuously perform good rituals, for the sake of for the well-being of his children. It is very important that we have many people constantly praying for us. It is very, very important. The more number of people that are praying for us, the better it is for us. Why will people pray for you? You have developed a relationship with them and they feel it is worth it. Right? The problem with us is that we treat people badly all and we expect them to pray for us when they go on Yatra. Why will they pray? Why will they even think about us? Right? If you have not treated them nicely, if you have not taken care of their hearts, if you have not been sensitive towards them. Dasharatha Maharaj profusely distributed charity and made everyone so happy. He explained that Dasharatha, when he picked up his first son in his hand, he had tears in his eyes. He was so touched by the experience of carrying Ram in his hand. He explained that Ram, he was extremely beautiful. And the color of Lord Ram's body is explained. It's a combination of Markatamani and molten gold. There is a jewel called Markatamani. It is green in color. You powder the Markatamani into fine powder and you mix it with molten gold that is melted. The combination of the two colors is what is Ram's color. Greenish gold. That's the color of Lord Ram. When you travel around in Ayodhya, you will find many temples. You will find Ram in different colors. So I'm going to tell you right now what to expect, so that you understand what these colors are all about. There is a very beautiful temple that you will be visiting, which is if I'm not mistaken, it is one second. Yeah, it is Kanak Mahal. So in Kanak Mahal, you will find three sets of deities on the altar. You will find the first deity. Actually, you'll find four sets of deities. I'll explain roughly what you will see in the altar. In the middle of the altar, you will find small deities, very tiny deities, 8 of them. There are the 4 brothers with their 4 wives. Sita, Ram, Lakshman, Urmila, Bharat, Mandavi, and Shatrugna and Shrutakirti. The 4 husbands and the 4 wives. They are too small for you to even be able to recognize. But a simple way to recognize is that the husbands have like a small feather on their head. All the 4 husbands and all the 4 brothers. A pink color feather on their head. And the four wives, they don't have a pink color clothes in there. That's the only, that's how you recognize them from where you all are, you know. And next to them, on one side, you will find a white marble deity of Ram and Sita. That is said to be Raja Ram. That is Ram, who is the king of Ayodhya. And then you will find another deity of Ram, who is bluish in color with Sita. That particular deity of Ram, he is known as Janaki Ram. He is a Ram who is married to Mother Sita. And then next to them, you will find black deity of Ram with Mother Sita. And he is known as Kale Ram. That's the deity of Ram who has come back from Vanvas. And understanding is that because he has come back from Vanvas, he has become black. Because so much dust is on him. So it's called Kale Ram. So basically, wherever you find, you know, in Ayodhya, the different deities of Ram and all these different colors, you understand there is some kind of, you know, mood and colors in it. And also the interesting thing about Ayodhya is that, especially the Ram Lalla temple, is every day the color of the dress of the deity coincides with the color of the day. Monday is white color dress. Tuesday is red color dress. Wednesday is green color dress. Thursday is yellow color dress. Friday, Saturday, I don't know as yet. I have not seen them. So the 4 days, so I don't know if you all know, days have colors associated with them, right? So according to the color of that day, the dress is being offered to the Lord. So that's the kind of color combination that I have. So you can observe all this when you are having darshan, you know. So I'm just kind of giving you some more things to remember when you are having darshan of the deities. So Lord Ram, Bharat, Shatrugna, and Lakshman, they were born on one particular day, which I just described. 11 days after the birth of the four children, Dasharath Maharaj called Vashishta, the Guru of Ayodhya, to come and do the name giving to the four children. So Vashishta picked up the first child, Ram. And as soon as he picked up Ram in his hand, the moment he picked up Ram, the word Ram came out of his mouth. He didn't even think. He just picked up the child and that word Ram came out of his mouth directly. Ram means the one who gives unlimited pleasure to the hearts of the listener and the speaker. In the Ramayana, there are two names. Rama means the one who gives pleasure to others. And the word Ravana means the one who makes others cry. The meaning of the word Ravana is that only. The one who brings tears to the eyes of others. In all our lives, we have a Ram and Ravana, correct? There are some people, you look at them, you feel like smiling. And then there are other people, you look at them, you feel like crying. So all of us have a Ram and Ravana in our life. So we should ideally become Ram to others. That means if they look at you, people should feel like smiling. If they look at you, people should feel happy, right? But if they look at you and they feel like running away, then you are around the other person. So here, Vashishta picked up Ram and immediately gave the name Rama to Lord Ram. He explained that at one particular point in time during the Ramayana, when Hanumanji was about to leave to Lanka, search for the sea actually towards the south, Hanumanji went to Lord Ram to take his blessings. It's explained that all the Vanaras, one after another, went to Lord Ram, took his blessings, and then they went to search. The last one to arrive was Hanumanji. So Ram was waiting for Hanuman to come. Hanuman coming only. Right till the end, after everybody came and went, Hanuman came. So Hanuman, when he came, he came and put his hand at the feet of Lord Ram. So two hands of Hanuman were at the 2 feet of Lord Ram. And he held it like that, the feet of Lord Ram. So when Hanuman held the 2 feet of Lord Ram, Ram held the shoulders of Hanumanji to pick him up. Obviously, if somebody touches your feet, you obviously try to pick up the person, right? So Ram touched the 2 shoulders of Hanumanji and he tried to pick up Hanuman. Hanuman tells Lord Ram, my dear Ram, let us stay like this. So Ram was wondering, what do you mean by that? Hanuman said, the moment I leave my hand from your feet, your hand will come out of your shoulders. But as long as my hand is on your feet, your hand will remain on my shoulders. This should be the mood of a devotee. What is the meaning of our hand being on the feet of the Lord? Our hand being on the feet of the Lord means we take shelter of the Lord, right? And when we take shelter of the Lord's hand. Sita Ram Jai Sita Ram, 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 Sita Ram Jai Sita Ram. Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram, Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram, Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram, Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram. So Hanuman is Ram that as long as my hand is at your feet, your hand will be on my shoulders. What is the meaning of Ram's hand being on our shoulders? Our shoulders, we use our shoulders to do action, right? Whatever we do in our life, it is by the help of our shoulders. Whether it is cooking, driving, writing, using the laptop, using the phones, everything shoulder is needed, isn't it? Ram's hand being on our shoulder means what? Our abilities come by the blessings of the Lord. Whatever skills we have, whatever action we do, whatever things we do in our life, we do it if we have the blessings of the Lord, if we have the hand of Ram on our shoulders, then we can do anything in life. So Hanuman is telling Ram that as long as my hand is at your feet, your hand will be on my shoulders. But the moment I remove my hand from your feet, your hand will come off my shoulders. So all of us, we need to meditate on this one thought that Hanumanji gives us. So Ram wanted to just have a little fun with Hanumanji. So he tells Hanuman that Hanuman, you have come so late. Now I don't have any blessings for you. I have given all the blessings to all the other Vanaras. Now I don't have anything to give you. Hanumanji tells Ram, my dear Lord, you have given all the big blessings to the other Vanaras. But I want you to give me the smallest blessing that you have. So Ram says, what is the smallest blessing I have? Hanumanji tells him, when you met Parashuram, just after the marriage, Lord Ram comes across Parashuram. And Parashuram challenges Lord Ram. At that time, Ram tells Parashuram that the smallest thing in my possession is my name, Rama. The word Parashuram is a big name, right? Parashurama. So Ram is saying, I am very small. My name also is so small. Ram, that's all, So Hanuman is saying, that day you said that the smallest thing you have in your possession is your name, Ram. He said, give me that. Lord Ram was so touched and so happy with Hanumanji that he embraced him. And from that day onwards, the copyright of the name Ram is with Hanuman. He owns Ram now, literally. So if anyone takes the name of Ram, better pay royalty to Hanumanji. So the word Ram means the one who gives pleasure to others. The moment we hear the word Ram, there is so much of pleasure, so much of nectar, So much of bliss that one can experience. And then Vasishtha picked up the second child. And from his mouth comes the word Bharata. The word Bharata means the one who has a big load on his head. Bhara Vahi iti Bharata. Bhara means weight. And Bharata means the one who is ready to lift a very heavy burden is called Bharata. Eventually that comes to be true because Bharat carries the burden of a kingdom on his shoulders when Ram left to the forest. And Bharata actually means that this boy has unlimited capacity to selflessly carry a heavy burden of responsibilities on his head. And the word Bharata also means the one whose bhava, raga, and tala are in sync with Lord Ram. Bhava, raga, and tala. That means whatever Bharat does, the only thing he thinks is, will this make Ram happy? That is the mood of Bharat. Constantly, the only thing he is thinking is, whatever I am doing, will this make Ram happy? If this is going to make Ram happy, I do it. If this is not going to make Ram happy, I don't want to do it, no matter how much I feel about it. This is Bharata. The one whose bhava, raga, and tala are in sync with Lord Ram. Our bhava, raga, and tala are not in sync with everybody. We have our own bhava, raga, and tala. We are dancing to our own tunes. We don't care what pleases the Lord, we don't care what pleases the Guru, we don't care what pleases the other devotees, we only care what pleases us. We are doing our own Bharatanatyam, So that word Bharata applies to us in a totally different way. But Bharata is somebody who has completely aligned his life to Lord Ram. There's a difference between Bharata and Lakshman. Lakshman serves the body of Ram, and Bharata serves the instructions of Ram. Lakshman tells Ram, when they go into the forest, Lakshman tells Ram, I will come with you. Ram says no. Lakshman says, no, I will still go with you. He doesn't listen to Ram only. Because he loves Ram so much, he doesn't listen to him readers. He will do what he will do whatever is possible to serve Ram's body. For that he has to be physically present there. But Bharat is not like that. Bharat, he will do whatever Ram says. No matter how difficult it is for him, no matter how painful it is for him. Therefore, that word bhara, the burden means what? He is taking the burden of separation from Ram. Not being able to stay with Ram is a burden for him. And that burden is carrying, he carried for 14 years, right? Therefore, it's called Bharata. And then Vasishtha picks up the third child. And the word Lakshmana comes out from his mouth. The word Lakshmana comes from the word Lakshmi. Lakshmano, Lakshmi Sampanna. So now, this means that this person has great wealth. Now, if you look at Lakshman's life, he didn't have much wealth. He didn't own a kingdom. He didn't rule any kingdom in his entire life. So he didn't have much wealth. What are we talking about? Is the name wrong? The name is not wrong. The word Lakshmi here is not referring to money, not referring to currency or gold and all that. The word Lakshmi is referring to the wealth of Seva. So Lakshman's wealth is that he has a lot of service. We don't understand how wealth and service are interconnected with each other. We think that service takes away our time from earning wealth. But we don't understand this is a different form of wealth. This is a different form of opulence, right? Lakshman was rich in the kingdom of service. He had so much seva, unlimited seva. Not only he had unlimited seva, he had unlimited capacity of the serve. So many people want to do a lot of service, but they don't have capacity to serve. Lakshman had not only desire to serve, but he also had the capacity to serve. That's why he's called as Lakshmana, the one who has great capacity to serve. And so as I said, Lakshman and Bharat, they are opposite of each other in terms of one serving the body of Ram and one serving the desire of Ram. Lakshman is so much concerned with the body of Lord Ram. Do anything to protect the body of Ram. And if anything goes wrong to the body of Ram, or if anything is going to disturb the body of Ram, he goes mad. It's like Lakshman is like the center of a circle. Now, so if you have a circle, Ram is the center of Lakshman's circle. So if you have a circle, the center is very important, correct? If the center gets disturbed, the whole circle gets disturbed, isn't it? So when Ram was being asked to go on exile, Lakshman lost it completely. He was so disturbed. He wanted to go and kill his own father, Dasharath Maharaj. He actually was so angry at Dasharath at that point in time. Why? Because the center should not get disturbed. As long as Ram is fine, Lakshman is fine. The moment Ram gets disturbed, Lakshman gets very disturbed. And then the fourth brother, Vashishta picked up the fourth child and gave him the name Shatrughna. The word Shatrughna comes from the word Shatru, means enemies. So Shatrughna means the one who fought against enemies and killed them. Now, in the entire life of Shatrughna only killed one demon. His name was Ravanasura. Only demon he killed in his entire life. How come he got named Shatrughna? He never killed this many people in it. But it is explained that the Shatru that we're talking about is something else. Shatrughna, the enemy of Shatrughna is not demons. The enemy of Shatrughna is Ram's beauty. Ram's beauty is the enemy of Shatrughna. Now you might say, how is it? How can Ram's beauty be your enemy? Enemy's enemy, isn't it? It is for Shatrughna. I'll tell you how. Shatrughna's life was revolved around serving Bharat. His entire life was revolving around serving Bharat. As I said, Lakshman, so Sumitra had two sons. One son serving Ram, one son serving Bharat. So the entire existence of Shatrughna's life is to serve Bharat. But Ram is so beautiful. Time and again, Shatrughna wants to go and serve Ram also. So he fight with the enemy for the desire to serve Ram. And because he fought with that enemy and won against it, he's known as Shatrughna. There is service to God and then there is service to Guru. Which is more important? Service to God is more important, service to Guru is more important. Both are important, depending on what your service is. So if you are given the service to Guru, don't hand them for service to God. You have to fight with that enemy. That's your enemy. In the temple, many times it happens that you are given some personal service to the spiritual master. And at the same time, daily worship comes up. And obviously, you want to do daily worship also. But service to Guru is also important. So you have to decide one of the two. At some point, you have to make choices in life. So, Shatrughna, he said, I'm giving up my service to deities, to Lord Ram, because I want to serve my Guru all my life. He only wanted to serve Bharat. So, Lakshman served Ram, God. And Shatrughna served Bharat, the devotee of God. So, one brother choosing to serve God and one brother choosing to serve the devotee of God. One brother choosing Bhagavan, one brother choosing Bhakta. And both are equally important. And that is what this shows. Sumitra's sons, one chose God and one chose the devotee of God. And both of them are glorious. Shatrughna means the one who fought against his enemy, which was a desire to serve Ram, the desire to be with Ram, the desire to worship Ram. And he conquered the desire and he focused his mind on worshipping Bharat and serving Bharat and assisting Bharat. And that's why he is called as Shatrughna. These four brothers at many levels represent different things. Ram, the purpose of Ram's incarnation is to teach us obedience to elders. The purpose of Lakshman's incarnation is to teach us how to serve God. The purpose of Bharat's incarnation is to teach us how to follow the instructions of God without questioning. And the purpose of Shatrugna's incarnation is to teach us the importance of serving the devotees of God. The four brothers came for four different purposes. And the entire life they did that only. Ram represents Dharma. Lakshman represents Artha. Shatrugna represents Kama. Bharat represents Moksha. Dharma and Artha should always be kept together. And Kama and Moksha should always be kept together. The problem is that with us is that we keep Artha and Kama together. Disaster. That's why we see Lakshman and Rama always together. Dharma, Artha together. So that means wealth should be always used for purpose of dharma. And desire, which is Kama, should be for moksha. Therefore, Shatrugna and Bharat were always together. So if you look at it from Ramayana, it's so many layers, there are so many different things to understand. You bring Artha and Kama together, it's a disaster. This entire world is filled with people who are only keeping Artha and Kama together. Artha and Kama should be in confinement of moksha and dharma. If Artha and Kama is boxed by moksha and dharma, that Artha and Kama is good. It's useful. It's important. But if Artha and Kama is without this box of moksha and dharma, it's a disaster. This world is moving towards Artha and Kama without dharma and moksha involved. And that's why people are sad. It's not that you should not have Artha and Kama. You can have Artha and Kama, but it should be in alignment, it should be in confinement of dharma and moksha. That's what makes the four Purusharthas complete and beautiful. Ram is the supreme personality of Godhead, God Vishnu himself. Bharat represents the chakra of the Lord. Lakshman is Ananta Shesh, the snake bed of Lord Ram. Shatrugna is a conch, yes? Shatrugna is a conch of the Supreme Lord. So these four personalities represents these four different aspects. The Ramayana is a book which is filled with so much of subtle and beautiful aspects. All the scriptures, for that matter, there is an element of the storyline. But below the element of the storyline, there is a layer of lessons. Just like all of you came from Prayag, right? Triveni Sangam. You have had a bath in the Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati. You have saw Ganga and Yamuna. You could see, right, the different colors. Exactly, you can make out. If Ganga is like greenish in color, Yamuna is blackish in color. You can exactly make out where they meet, isn't it? But did you see the Saraswati River? The Saraswati River is called Gupta Nadi. It comes from below. You can't see it. Similarly, the knowledge of Ramayana and Mahabharata are like Ganga and Yamuna flowing. They're flowing from time immemorial. Thousands of people are talking about it, watching it, reading it and all that. But along with that storyline, there is a hidden Saraswati, the message, the lessons. Unfortunately, Saraswati is not visible. The wisdom that the Ramayana and Mahabharata stories carry is not visible to the world. And that is why we need acharyas who can help us see the hidden Saraswati that you can't see with your eyes. And that's what the purpose of Katha is. The purpose of Katha is to help us see that which is invisible. Within the storyline, there is a hidden message. There is a beautiful message which Valmiki wants to narrate to us. That's why Valmiki is called Kokila and a lion. Simha and Kokila. How and have you ever seen one devotee who sings like cuckoo and sounds like lion? Not possible. You have seen lion-like devotees and you have seen cuckoo-like devotees. Both don't exist in the same person. But here is Valmiki, who is being called a Kokila also, and he is called Nrsimha also. Why? Because the Ramayana that he has as a beautiful story which is very melodious, but also has a roaring message below it. So what we are doing, trying to help you out with the narrative of the Ramayana, is not only see the story which is very, very beautiful and melodious, but also see a roaring message that is below the story. With this, we'll stop today's session, and I really urge all of y'all to think about what we discussed today. So spend the night contemplating on it. Don't spend too much time on your phones, scrolling Instagram and all that. Spend time thinking about what we heard over the last 2 hours. Spend time discussing what we heard over the last 2 hours. We're sitting for prasad, we're eating together, sit together in small groups and discuss whatever we discussed. Just to recollect and do what is called as mananam. Because whatever you hear in the next 2 to 3 hours, if you don't revise it, you will lose it. And in about 4 to 5 hours, you will lose 90 to 100% of everything that you learned. You almost lose it. But in the next 2 3 hours, if you do any kind of discussions or any kind of contemplation, you will retain that much, right? So my suggestion to all is that since you are going to have darshan of Ram tomorrow, and we had an elaborate discussion on the birth of Lord Ram and the appearance of Ram Lalla. So please contemplate on this and all the discussions that we just discussed, and have a discussion among yourselves. And tomorrow when you will go for darshan, you'll be more prepared and more conscious about the whole experience. So tomorrow's program is as follows. Vinay Prabhu, are you there by any chance? Okay. Exact timing बताया Vinay Prabhu? कोई timing okay. So tomorrow morning, in all probability, we're going to have a katha before your leave for Ram Lalla darshan. Okay. So I will tell you the exact times in some. While the prasad is going on, we will tell you the exact timings. You have a group, right? Yatra group is here. So communication will happen exactly about the time. So morning we will have Katha here first, because we'll have Mangalati and we'll have the full morning program here, and followed by Katha, and then after that you'll have prasad, and then you'll go for Ram Lalla darshan. So the Ram Lalla darshan is going to take you a good, couple of hours, 2 3 hours you can expect to have darshan. So please spend the time doing kirtan, doing japa, instead of just, it's going to be hot, it's going to be cold, it's going to be rainy, so many things will happen. But don't allow your mind to waver, right? Please allow your mind to focus on chanting, on kirtan. You can even do mananam and you can do discussions, etc. So you're more prepared for Ram Lalla darshan. Of course, tomorrow morning, I'll be sharing with all of you some very beautiful stories from the Ramayana that will help us understand the mood of the Ramayana a little more. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to go off the sequence of discussion that we're having. I'm going to tell you some very, very beautiful pastimes of Lord Ram, so that you have your absorption on Ramayana and on Ayodhya is more intense. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. सीताराम कृष्ण भगवान की प्रभुपाद की
ईश्वरदास प्रभु की जय.
Let's thank Shubha with 3 loud and enthusiastic Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. How many of you felt that? Okay, I'm just imposing it on you. I felt that I'm seeing love and Kush together sitting on the Vyasasana.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. So many preachers in the group have brought and inspired devotees here. There's Bangal Prabhu is here, and there's Karunaka Mataji is here. Many senior devotees are here, and other preachers, Dasraj Prabhu and Praveen Prabhu, and everybody have inspired devotees to come to Ayodhya, right? I just want to say that it's a dream of a preacher to bring followers to follow the parampara. So it's our dream to get all of you here. This is like a fructified fruit of our preaching efforts, is to finally bring all of you to the Dham and make you hear from senior devotee like His Grace Shubha Vilas. So I'm very, very grateful that everybody has inspired each other. You brought your relatives, you brought your, some of you are not part of satsang, but you're inspired to bring your relatives, and you're inspired to bring anybody and everybody around you to come to this place. And all the devotees who are already practicing Krishna consciousness, they also have taken their time out to come here. I actually want to congratulate. Let's congratulate each other by saying loud Hari Bol. It is indeed. And one more thing, don't think that you have brought somebody here. Just a contradiction to what I told. They are here because Ramlala has allowed them to come here. So, whoever you have inspired to come, treat them as the guests of Lord Ram. Because they have come here and we have to take care of them. Whether it is your sisters, your uncles, anybody who has come here. You have a service to take care of them in Ayodhya, and that will really please Lord Ram. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. And when Prabhuji was saying about Putra Kamishti Yajna, I never heard the detail in which Prabhuji told. And then I was wondering what exactly happened with all of us. Dasharatha Maharaj had to get purified before doing the Putra Kamishti Yajna. And look at how it worked out for us. We went to the Prayagraj. We dipped and became purified. We went to Kashi. We took the permission of Vaishnavana Gathashambho. And then we are finally here in Ayodhya to give birth of bhakti to Lord Ram in this very place. So everything is just matching against, everything is being planned. We didn't plan that. He planned it, that we did that. And it's so amazing to hear so many things that Prabhuji is saying. And one of the complaints or rather requests was, many here don't understand English because you have brought your relatives and few elderly. కొంతమందికి ఇక్కడ ఇంగ్లీష్ అర్థం కావట్లేదని చెప్పారు. మీ అందరి మెయిన్ చేసే యజ్ఞం ఏంటంటే all the people who understood in English, I'm sure you have made some notes. I request everyone to make some notes. And while we are standing in the line, why don't you repeat those notes to everyone who don't understand it in English? So how many want to do that seva? Yeah? Whatever notes that you have mentioned. That's a good way, like Prabhuji said. We'll also meditate and remember what Prabhuji told, and we'll also do that in the service. And one other thing I wanted to propose is after this yatra, we'll continue this yatra for 2 months. What does it mean? Is we will translate everything that Prabhuji told in Telugu, and we will have a class once in a week. And it will be given by all of you in Telugu, whoever wants to do it in Telugu. The whole series that Prabhuji is speaking here, we are recording it, and you can translate it in Telugu, and all the elderly people. మీకు తెలుగులో చెప్తాను, ఈ యాత్ర అయిపోయిన తర్వాత 2 నెలల వరకు వారానికి ఒక క్లాసు తెలుగులో ఇవ్వబడుతుంది. ప్రభుజీ చెప్పిన ప్రతి విషయాన్ని తెలుగులో అనువాదించి మీ అందరికి మేము వినిపిస్తాము. మీరందరూ దాన్ని ఆన్లైన్ జాయిన్ కావచ్చు అండ్ వినొచ్చు. అందరు సంతోషమేనా? So the best yatra, the best katha, the best transformation. ఈ అంతా అయిన తర్వాత మనకు నిజంగా రావాల్సింది మనలో ఉన్న చేంజ్. తెలుగు ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ I told, share the wealth. Yes, Prabhuji told we should not develop envy for when we celebrate something. We are celebrating this yatra also. I don't think anybody is envious, but there are few devotees who could not make it in the last minute. They planned everything, but their parents' health went wrong, or their health went wrong, or something came up. What we can do is we can share the wealth of this yatra by praying for them when we go to Ramlala's temple. Can we do that? Yeah, please pray for all the devotees who could not make it here, though their heart is here, and I've kept it, live for those devotees only, so that they can be part of this yatra even though they are not here. And of course, we can be in Ayodhya. I heard this from a very senior devotee that we can be in the temple and still not in the temple. We can be in Ayodhya but still not in Ayodhya. Why don't we try to do something? Is that for next 4 days, we will not touch YouTube or Instagram. Is that possible? It's a yajna. We are not going to touch YouTube or Instagram. Right? Half Maya is stopped there only. Or Facebook also, let me. Right? Or any of this social networking sites. We don't need to. Next 4 days we are here. And whatever we hear will keep us here.
If you have managed to do that, Lord Ram will personally come to you.
Haribol!
Great shock.
Haribol!
Almost fainting.
And we'll please Prabhuji also. Let us please Prabhuji by doing this. Can we all say we'll do it?
Haribol!
And it starts from now.
Yes.
Now, we
Haribol.
are going out of this room and those apps don't exist in our mobile phones.
Haribol.
The only thing that exists is database, or the only, and you don't need to hear the lecture again and don't go to YouTube to hear the lecture again. I know how Maya tricks, it tricks me every day. Don't do that, just be attentive to these classes, right? And yeah, best behavior. While we are in Ayodhya, we need to be the best behavior. We have not come here to create an impact, we have come here to get impacted. So don't go and try to do anything that Ayodhya Vasas will remember us for lifetime. They have drawn to remember. We have to get impacted by, by following whatever the rules and regulations are of the temple. Don't get too ecstatic doing loud kirtan inside the temple if that is not the protocol. Yes, we want to do kirtan, and one more thing that we can do is we're going to have a morning program here. We need to discuss about the altar and everything. But still, Nama Yajna we can do, even if the altar is not there. Just come here at 5 o'clock or 5:30. From 5 to 7:30, we are sitting here and just chanting. Right? We will recite the morning prayers. Sit down and just recite the morning prayers. Even if the altar is not arranged, which we'll figure it out, but we'll recite the Sansara Dava, the Dashingarti, the whole sequence. We did the training already. We'll do that here. Half an hour it will get over. Let's focus on chanting, intense, nice chanting here. Finish your 16 rounds before 7:30. If you can do that for the next 4 days, right? And then do another 16 rounds while you're outside. So we can keep a target of 32 rounds if you want to do. Again, it's not a number thing. It's a consciousness thing. If somebody is not able to do, but somebody is able to do, let's give it a shot every day. And how fortunate we are that we are in Ayodhya on Ekadashi, right? That is day after tomorrow. We will discuss about tomorrow Ekadashi. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Yeah, so tomorrow is Ekadashi. So let's do more number of rounds and let's go and visit, Ram Lalla on Ekadashi day. I think everything is being planned already. I don't need to say anything here. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so the current was going again and again, Prabhuji. I just went and discussed, and he told it never happens, it's happening only today. So something is happening here which Lord Ram is orchestrating. It started raining, and they don't know why current is going so many times.
What's bhajan in the middle?
Huh?
What's bhajan in the middle?
You want bhajan in the middle? I know. Yeah, something is being planned. Hare Krishna. And please do take care of your health. Don't drink outside water. Try as much as possible not to drink outside water. Don't eat outside at all. I know we don't. We have prasadam nicely being arranged. And even the prasad, take it in a limited quantity so that we give more of our energy. Instead of digestion, digestion in the stomach, we'll try to digest the philosophy we are hearing. So, try to take it regulatively. And I'm telling this to myself, you can look at me. Please post any health problem you are facing in the group. We have an Ayodhya group. Ayodhya group ఉన్నది ఎవరెవరైతే గ్రూప్ లో లేరో దయచేసి గ్రూప్ లో యాడ్ చేయబడండి. You can get it added. I don't know, I've created 4 or 5 admins now. I think my show is admin and few others are admins. Get included. Any health issue, post in the group. Lord Ram has also arranged for a doctor here. Karunaradhika Mataji is here. Very bold. Don't become because doctor is here. So, patiently follow the rules so we don't become a patient. And Mataji is here to give good health advice. If there is any more emergency situation, we will have something to be done. But try to remain safe, don't take any risks. And tomorrow is also Snan in Saraya River, which will announce tomorrow morning. I don't know the details around what it takes. If you've done it, you want to.
It's a very safe place.
Okay. It's very safe. There is a ghat also, I think. Yeah. So what you can do, you can take some only clothes. Don't carry mobile phones and iPhones. I is not allowed. I means ahankara. It is not allowed inside the temple. So let it all be kept here. Let's go as a group. So we're not stopped in between the temples. So to come back again, right? And we faced some of the problem in Kashi Vishwanath temple yesterday. Devotees had to leave, go outside the temple, and again they got lost. And today morning, right? Today morning was telling yesterday. Yeah. So please, try to keep your electronic equipment, everything here. Stay in the group. Don't do sub yatras or or some other yatras. Some relative told go here to the temple. No, your real relatives are the devotees right now who will take you to Lord Ram. So forget about all the other advices that you have received. Even some people told me, I'm not going here, are you not going there? I only told my guide is taking care of where I need to go. So Prabhuji has already recommended the places where we need to go for this yatra. Let's focus on that. And Prabhuji is going to tell a nice katha about those places. Don't do extra pujas or extra darshans or extra anything in this schedule. What will happen is you will not be with us, and then we're getting a call that where are you, where am I? Will not be entertained because we will not have the phones. Right? So please don't get lost. My humble request. Right? If at all, we will try to create a slot one of the days where if at all you want to do any puja for an ancestors or anything like that, let us see. I'm not guaranteeing, but since we are in a holy place, we will see. But that's not a guarantee. You can come back here and again here and do. But this yatra is to hear good katha and follow the schedule. So please stay healthy and chant more and be prepared for tomorrow's Sarayu Snan, maybe a dip. So you can get your clothes that you can change there. It's going to be really hot. So you want to bring your umbrellas to stay in the shade, please do bring. Right? It's extreme temperature going on. You can see today while coming it was really hot. So maybe tomorrow is also going to be like that. So bring your things that can keep you in good health. And please give, of course, I don't want to go too moral on this, but make sure that the elderly people are being given comfort when we are going in a bus or when we are standing in a line or wherever it is. Please take care of them. So without any more delay, there is Prashadam available now. Is it ready, Prabhu? Prashad ready here? Hare Krishna, koi hai piche? Yeah. Okay. So tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock, 5 to 7:30. Katha, what time would you prefer? We'll announce. We'll send the whole schedule, tomorrow's whole schedule. By dinner, by the time you finish the dinner, it will be in the group. రేపు షెడ్యూల్ అంతా కూడా ఏముంటుందో గ్రూప్ లో ఉంటుంది, మేము పెడతాము, మీరు చూడండి, దాని ప్రకారంగా రేపు ప్లాన్ చేద్దాము. సో ఇక్కడ 1 hour కథ మినిమం ఉంటుంది. అది విన్న తర్వాత ఇక్కడి నుంచి మనం బయలుదేరుతాం. హరే కృష్ణ 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 హరే హరే, హరే రామ రామ హరే హరే. సో మహేష్ ప్రభు, హర్షద్ ప్రభు or anybody else, any announcements?
గ్రూప్ లో మెసేజ్ చూసుకోమని చెప్పండి. గ్రూప్ లో మెసేజెస్ చూస్తూ ఉండమని చెప్పండి. మెసేజెస్ చూస్తూ ఉండమని చెప్పండి.
Yeah. WhatsApp is also a dangerous thing, but just restrict yourself to Ayodhya group for a few days. There can unread messages can live forever. Okay? So try to please watch WhatsApp and see. I only tell that if the leader here who has brought people, okay, or the servant who has brought people, whatever name you give it, make sure you are communicating to your immediate group. So that will resolve 90% of communication, right? For example, a husband can send it to the wife and all the other relatives who was brought there. So communication is not missed. ఏ మెసేజ్ మీరు దయచేసి వాట్సాప్ చూడండి, కానీ మీరు చూసిందే నలుగురికి ఇమీడియట్గా చెప్పేయండి. చెప్తే మళ్ళీ కమ్యూనికేషన్ మిస్ కాదు. ఓకేనా? ఈ చిన్న ఫేవర్ చేయండి. హరే కృష్ణ. ప్రశాంత్ రెడ్డి. నమస్తే నరసింహాయ, हिरण्याकाशी पूर्वक्षः शीलकण्ठानकालये Yato yato yami tato narsino. Vahir narsino, Vahir narsino. Narasimha Vahir Sharanam Tapati. Thank you.